The PS5. I bought this from eBay and it cost me £150. It came with this DualSense controller, which I recently installed Hall Effects potentiometers into. It came with this Wiimote, which I don't know what the problem is. You can see it's still got the CEX label on. It came with this Joy-Con, which has stick drift, and it also came with this DualShock 4, which has stick drift. Now, the problem with this is it has no power apparently, but I have already checked it, and it is a beep no power, which is different to no power, but I'll show you that. So this is now hooked up to power. Hear that? That was the eject button. That's the power button. But as you can see, the console doesn't turn on. As you can see, the warranty seal is intact, which is the only reason why I decided to pull the trigger on this. This is a 1216A model. So I have actually ordered some parts to prepare for this. Clearly I don't know what's wrong with it because it's never been opened. I've bought a 69GG South Bridge. I've bought a HDMI retimer or encoder. And I've bought a Wi-Fi module. Now I'm hoping that this is the right South Bridge for this system. I have no experience reballing or anything, so hopefully we don't even need this. Just very quickly now, I believe that we should be able to test the 12 volts on the fan connector. So I'll do this very quickly. Black probe on ground. This one I believe. There we go, so 12 volts looks good. And I think this fan, this connector on the end is the 5 volt. I'm getting 0 volts. I think this pin on the end is supposed to be 5 volts, but I don't actually know if this system needs to be on to get that 5 volts. Anyway, just something to bear in mind. So just before we get this under the microscope, I'm going to very quickly check some of the fuses that I can find. So I've got F7002 here. That's good. I've got F7003 here. That's good. Got F7502 here. That's good. Someone around here somewhere. Oh, by the way, it is an EDM033 board. Is there a fuse around here? I think this is a fuse. I can't quite tell, but it's good if it is a fuse. Let's have a look. F7102, which is here, I think. Yeah, that's good. F7501 up here. That's good. Got F3501 here. That's fine. Okay, let's flip it over. Got F7001 here. Oh. So F7001 is gone. Check the pads. Huh. Okay, so that's F7001. What's that for? What circuit is this? Okay. So what's on the other side of the board from that? Is that the HDMI? Just going to check for shorts around here. So just looking at F7001, this fuse. So when I put my black probe on ground, you can see this side of the circuit is short to ground. And if I go in continuity mode still, and this is a fuse, so it should have continuous path straight through it, but clearly it doesn't. The main problem I'm having here is I don't have a clue where those wires go. I think that this should be 5 volts. I'm just going to check it for shorts. I'm getting nothing there. So there's no short on this. We'll check the other side, just to be sure. Nope. Do we have continuity through there? Yeah, we have continuity, but no ground, which is good. So I bought this DC power supply specially for this PS5 and obviously all future repairs. So I'm just going to give it 12 volts at half an amp, 500 milliamps, just to see what kind of current draw we're getting. Now I've never done this before. The polarity is correct. They're not touching, it's just the depth. So I'm just going to turn it on and then we can see what happens. $60 milliamps. Huh. It just hangs at 60 and then drops down. Okay, so we're just going to look around this dialogue chip. I think this is some sort of power regulator. We're just going to test for some voltages so we can see what's going on. Just going to go on ground down here. So I've got 5 volts there, which means I must have my 12 volts, right? No. What? Okay, so I've got 12 volts here. $12 there. Got nothing on these. Do these need to be turned on? Maybe the console needs to be turned on to get it here, I'm not sure. Okay, we're going to come down here. .3 there. That's ground. 3.3 there. $5 there. 1.1 there. 5 there. 2 volts there. I'm supposed to get anything over here. Nothing on this little cap. I don't know if that's supposed to have anything. Nothing on this big inductory coily type thing. $5 there. Where else should I be checking? I think this one's Southbridge one, isn't it? 3.3 on that one. I think that goes to the Southbridge. Okay, so I think I'm making some sort of progress. I don't know if it's good progress, but this little chip here, I think it's maybe some sort of power management chip as well. The capacitors around it are short to ground. And then if we go to this one just down the way from it, I've got the same thing here. Now, I don't know if this is on the input side or the output side. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that these are connected to F007. But you'd have thought that with this fuse blowing, that it would have protected the circuit, whatever's supposed to come after it. Alright, so I've just tacked the wire onto that shorted side of the fuse, and I'm just going to inject 1 volt at 1 amp to see if anything gets warm. Now, I don't have a thermal camera, so I'm going to have to do this with IPA and just feeling around. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I'm injecting voltage. I've got it set at 1 volt at 2.5 amps roughly. It's drawing about 1 watt of current. I don't have a thermal camera, which is the main problem. So all I can really do is feel around with my hand. Now, I can't feel anything getting warm at all. Let me just flip this over. I'm here under the microscope. I've been putting IPA absolutely everywhere. These 2 larger caps in the middle here. Watch what happens when I put on these 2. Oh, that was not enough. So the one on the left tends to burn it off much faster than the one on the right. You see that? The one on the right is still going. And that happens almost every time. Now this chip and this chip, they both get pretty warm. But if I put on this chip and these capacitors at the same time, see which one gets the hottest. See that? The one on the left is dry already. So I'm going to try and take that one off and then see what happens. So I just added leaded solder to that cap, and I had the hot air set at 390 degrees at 70% airflow, and removed the cap. Okay, so let's test that rail now. Oh my god, the short is gone. I think. Oh my god. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way I found that. And just to double check, we're going to check this pad over here. So I've got the black probe on ground. So obviously that side was clean anyway. It's gone. It's gone. So this fuse is connected to those kind of power regulators or whatever they are. Wow. I'm just going to try and measure this cap. So that looks like a 50 microfarad. Alright, so I've looked online and I cannot find that F7001 fuse anywhere. So what I've done, and please don't copy this because it's not safe, but what I've done is I've just bridged those pads just so I can test it. And I'm literally just going to try and test it without that one capacitor and without that fuse. I don't know if it's going to work without the capacitor. I have actually ordered that capacitor, so if this does work, I don't think it will, but if this does work, then I will be reinstalling it as soon as it arrives. And also, if you could please let me know in the comments if you know the values of that fuse. If it's like a 5 amp fuse or whatever, then please let me know so I can order that and replace the bridge with an actual fuse that's going to blow if it needs to, like it did in the past. So I've hooked the power supply up. I've got it set at 12 volts, limited at half an amp. I'm just going to turn it on and see if it does a healthy draw before I put it back together and test it properly. So I have put that one capacitor back on, the one that I got the reading from, and the other one I have ordered one. So I'm going to replace that. Let's just see what this does. I think that's a healthy-ish standby sequence. Let's just see that again. I think that's alright. I don't know. I think it's risky putting it back together and actually fully power it on with that fuse the way it is and without that capacitor. But I don't know what that fuse is. I can't find it anywhere online. I can find F7002, 3 and all the other ones, but I can't find that one. Alright, here we are. I'm so nervous. I don't even want to turn this thing on, to be honest. I'm so scared. Just gotta go for it, haven't I? I think this is on. Let me just check. It's on. Alright, let's just go for it. It beeps. Blue light. Come on. Come on, do something. Oh my god, it's so tense. White light. Oh! I don't believe it. Oh. I'm in shock. No way. No way. What's it doing? Oh my god. How on earth have I done this? I don't know anything about console repair. PS5. I've never done a PS5. I've never injected voltage. I've never injected voltage. Oh my god. Hello. Somebody's come to say hi. I'm speechless. Where's the controller? So this is the controller that came with the bundle, but it came from a game shop. So I don't think it'll be paired, but we'll try. No, it's just one that they threw in the bundle. Alright, we've got some things to test. Let me sit back down. Where's my chair? There we go. I can't tell you how shocked I am. FIFA, of course. Is there a game in here? No. You know what? This occasion calls for something special. I'm gonna open this that arrived recently. I bought this hoping one day I'd fix a PS5 to be able to play it, and here we are. Oh, that's nice. Oh, which way to put the disc in? It's gonna be that way, isn't it? Hope I put it in the right way. Don't want to ruin that game. Yeah, it reads. Alright, here we are. I've just loaded into the game. I've turned the sound down. I don't know how to play this. I've turned the sound down because it's got a load of music in it. Wow, I don't even know where to start. This is by far the most satisfaction I've had so far from a repair. One of my main goals when starting this channel was to work up towards a modern generation console like a PS5 or Xbox Series X, diagnose it myself and fix it myself. First time ever working on a PS5, first time ever using voltage injection. It almost feels like a full circle moment right now. I'm so happy. I honestly didn't expect that to work. I didn't expect to fix it. On that note, please let me know the values of the fuse if you know it, so I can get that installed. Also, it's time to take another look at the skillometer. If you don't know, the skillometer is an overall rating of my overall skill so far. So not just for this video, but overall in general. Currently, here's what we're sitting on. I think we might be able to see some small improvements going on. So please let me know in the comments down below, because I use your feedback and that's how we implement the changes as I learn more. And I've had an absolute blast with this video, so if you've enjoyed it, then please consider subscribing.